for a burglary suspect at this point in time out of the Anaheim area, and we're basically back into Anaheim, and I believe now possibly getting onto the 57 freeway northbound, traveling on this transition, if I'm not mistaken. So certainly it's an extremely dangerous one on the surface streets here, and actually getting on the 57 freeway southbound. Yeah, I would say even longer than that. It might have been 45 minutes to an hour. We didn't pick it up until it was on the 60 freeway, and then we saw there was an Anaheim PD helicopter overhead, and we traced their route, and they came out of Anaheim following this vehicle. So it probably about an hour now, I would say, driving extremely high rates of speed. What was really scary to hear when we heard the information come across that he was traveling on the 57 freeway southbound into oncoming traffic. Certainly that could be deadly. You see the damage to the back of the vehicle, said to be a Lexus. It appears that that is the case, and once again wanted for burglary. It appeared from our tight shot, only one person, the driver, on board, but it's hard to tell for certain. There's two of them. Anaheim and CHP is overhead. CHP has taken the lead now, but Anaheim is still following along, probably because it originated in the Anaheim area. At least that's what we believe at this point in time. It gets a little tough for us now. There's a TFR, a flight restriction, temporary they call it, but it's really permanent, 3 miles from Disneyland up to 3,000 feet. Weather conditions today may stop us from climbing to 3,000 with the overcast. For now, we're outside of it. That could become a factor for us in following this. But you're seeing speeds, 78, 80 miles an hour, just a little faster than the flow of traffic because there's not a lot of volume here. But certainly we've seen some desperate maneuvers by this suspect. Can you open up, Marcel? I'm not sure if there are patrol cars right behind this vehicle any longer. It looks like they're content because of the rate of speed and the way the suspect was driving to just follow along with the airships at this point in time and go into surveillance mode. But they're not going to let an individual like this get away. So the call is out to all the different agencies here as we head down through Anaheim. South 57 will be headed towards the pond and then towards the Orange Crush interchange here in a moment.
Well, Scott, that's one thing that we heard was that they had actually done this before, pulled back and just simply started following from above. But then when we watched, once it got onto surface streets, they actively engaged on the surface streets. But at this speed, it seems difficult that they might be able to get in front to re-engage once he gets off the freeway.
Yeah, I think they're going to make their decision based on what this suspect does. Right now, I think they're content to follow from overhead, Philip. When he got off the freeway, I think it changed things a little bit because the suspect continued to drive at an erratic pace and a high rate of speed. A moment ago, it looked like something was thrown out of the vehicle. I'm not sure if you saw that, but Marcel got a real good monitor in the back, and he said he saw someone throw something out of the vehicle. We're not certain what it was, but it appeared to be something, possibly a weapon. Who knows at this point in time? That's a lot of speculation.
Looked like it was almost debris off the side, but I saw that. It could be something, but it did look like because there's some serious damage to the back, almost as if they did a pit maneuver or something.
Yeah, that's possible. We didn't hear about that.
Sure,
From the time that we got it, we didn't hear about any type of pit maneuver. And it looks like the suspect now is making a transition road here, if I'm not mistaken, to get off the 57, possibly making a decision whether or not it's going to get on the 22 freeway or down towards the 22 and the 5 where they merge. This is the Orange Crush interchange. But it looks like that's an off-ramp, and it appears he's going to get onto Orangewood, which is right next to Angel Stadium. And we'll have to see if it goes east or westbound. There he goes. Looks like it's going to be westbound off of Orangewood. And now I think you'll start to see more units in the vicinity. The call's going out. They're letting you know, all the patrol cars here, that we now have this in the Anaheim area. Orangewood headed westbound, basically towards the 5 freeway.
Yeah. And you mentioned that damage, but it's in the rear of the vehicle. So, I mean, we don't know of any cars that he got in front of. I mean, how would he have had that damage in the back of the car? Unless he backed into something. I guess that's possible.
Yeah, that's just hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, at the rate he's driving, going around in circles, somebody could have ran into him because he's driving so erratically.
Right.
There's no evidence that they tried to do a pit maneuver, but it's also possible that a patrol car did try and do a pit maneuver, but that damage looks a little more extensive than what you would see from a patrol car just trying to hit one corner and getting him to spin out. So we are now just south of Angel Stadium. I'm on top of the 5 freeway looking to travel. It looks like making a left turn, and this could give the vehicle an on-ramp to the 5 freeway. So we're just going to have to see in a moment, sort of obscured by all the apartments here. And it looks like we might have to back off a little, approaching Disneyland. Yeah, we believe he went right up in this street there, and we're not allowed to get in there because of the 3-mile restriction from Disneyland. So it's going to be difficult to follow him unless he comes out of that area there.
What about the airships for law enforcement? Do they face different flight restrictions? Because I don't see anybody on the ground as he turned. It looked as if he went between the beige building and the white building, and I haven't seen any officers down that street on the ground. Are they able to fly from above different than you?
Yes, law enforcement has a discrete code, and they can go ahead and get in there, and they'll be able to continue to follow. Although we do understand, we've heard a report that they have canceled the ground portion of the pursuit. I guess they believe it's just too dangerous. And as I look out, I don't see the air units in this shot. I understand we're hearing a report now northbound on the 5 freeway. So it looks like the vehicle made maneuvered to the 5 freeway all the way up towards the Disneyland area. So we have to climb now in order to continue northbound. We're looking for the suspect. For the moment, though, we've lost him. And I'm not sure the air units continued with him as well. Understand they're there. I'm hearing that they are there. It's just with the haze, we can't see them today. So we've got to hold here, Philip and Giovanna. We've got to climb to 3,000 feet to get clearance to head north on the 5.
Well, it did look as if there were, I saw the zoom in of a ground unit there on the freeway. So if they are able to see where the suspect came onto the freeway, that will be of assistance to the air units and everybody that is involved in this. But it does look as if for the time being, we're going to have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, we're following a police pursuit in Orange County. Anaheim PD initiated a pursuit about 10:20 this morning of a burglary suspect driving a white Lexus. We have seen that driver drive erratically throughout streets, driving against or driving against traffic, so wrong way, and also driving at high speeds.
The most troubling part was when he was going the wrong direction on the 57 freeway. Scott said that was very unsettling for him. But we do have some video of some of the maneuvering as we try to manipulate the air traffic so that we could get up on top of the chase again. I think we were going to show some of the video. Or are we going to just continue to move on? There we go. So see, the odd thing about the freeway chase when he was on the freeway when we were watching it, and officers kind of pulled off because he wasn't going much, or she wasn't going much faster than traffic. And in fact, there were times where traffic actually began to pass the pursuit suspect, but they were flying above it. The officers were flying from their helicopter. That was the part where it looked as if something came out of the window. But I actually thought it was, nope, the window did roll down and they tossed something out.
Yes, definitely.
So something came out on the freeway.
Scott mentioned it could be a weapon, perhaps.
It could be anything. It could be evidence. But it was a crack of the window and it just dropped out. And when I saw it fall, I actually thought it might be debris off the vehicle.
Right. But there it is again.
There we go.
Yeah. And again, we don't know the details of the burglary in Anaheim. We don't know if it was a business or a residence. So those details we're waiting to get as well.
Okay, we will continue to follow this as it warrants, but we do want to continue here with Eyewitness News at 11 a.m.
All right. LA County Board of Supervisors honored the late activist turned politician Gloria Molina today with a tribute video.
I ran for the...
They canceled. They left too. Where are you seeing that? Where are you getting that? Yeah, we're hearing they left, according to what they told our pilot.
Council and in the State Assembly. She served on the Board of Supervisors for 23 years, representing cities like Koreatown, Pico Union, East LA, San Gabriel.